good one, everyone. Right, have a good one. Let's enjoy. A warm welcome to India. We are at the Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar for the first game of the Hero Champions Trophy 2014. It's an Ashes clash between Australia and England. So this is how the competition is split up into two pools of four: Australia, Belgium, England and Pakistan in Pool A. Argentina, Germany, the hosts India and the Netherlands in Pool B. Glorious day here on the east coast of India, and here are the two sides entering the Kalinga Stadium, home of the Kalinga Lancers in the Hero Hockey India League. And now England away to the left in the red and Australia in the green and gold on the right of your picture. Blue synthetic turf, plenty of youngsters in to watch the game, farmed in from the local schools. Some England fans in there, the Fox family and the Pinners flying the flag for England. Eddie Ockenden there, the captain of Australia. We'll get into the team lineups, but some big stars missing from the Australia squad. Bright and early in England, we have the national anthem starting with Australia. Pinner in good voice, and George Pinner takes his place in the England goal. For England versus Australia, the first game of the 2014 Hero Champions Trophy. Baking hot out there for the players, 28 degrees, and it's just gone midday here in Bhubaneswar. Just clocked 5:30 in Australia and 6:30 in the morning at the other end of the time scale, England. Here's how Australia line up then, with Charter in goal, Craig, Sorrello, Ockenden the captain, Wetton, Budgeon, Goders, Simpson, Beale, Kavanagh and Hayward all in Graham Reid's starting 11. So the likes of Dwyer, Knowles, Zalewski, Carroll and Govers all watching from the wings back home in Australia. Australia, of course, the defending champions and the hosts in 2012. They won the title 5 times in a row now. Can they make it 6 in a row? We'll find out as this competition unfolds. There is Graham Reid who's taken over from Rick Charlesworth just ahead of the Commonwealth Games. Australia, of course, the Commonwealth champions as well. So England really will have their work cut out. There is their starting 11 on the left of your screen. Pinner, Weir, Jackson, Brogdon, Hoare, Gleghorn, Middleton the captain, a staggering 330 caps now for him. Condon, Lewis, Catlin and Fox, all in Bobby Crutchley's starting 11. So England, who were nominated by the FIH Executive Board and given an invite to the competition here in 2012, they finished a disappointing 8th place. So Crutchley and the gang looking to advance and better that. Their best Champions Trophy finish was in 2010 when they finished second, a silver medal behind Australia. And of course a successful World Cup for England as well, just missing out on the medals this year. Lost 2-0 to Argentina in that bronze medal game. So 4th for England as we get underway here. It's England playing from left to right in the red and blue strip. It's Australia versus England, the first game of the Hero Champions Trophy 2014. This is Lewis at the back for England. Michael Hoare alongside him. That ball into the midfield finds a bearded Catlin. Interception though here from Australia, and here's where they could look dangerous, that counter-attack play, but England quick to react and get the ball back. Just a small slip there from Sorello at the back, speaking to some of the players ahead of the game. The corner areas proving a little bit slippy in the build-up to this tournament. So that's something to watch for as things play out. And I'm watching them play out from the commentary box. Alongside me is Simon Mason, former Great Britain goalkeeper. Some tidy defending at the back there from Henry Weir, a good important tackle and wins possession sideline ball. Welcome, Simon.
Thanks very much, Mike. Looking forward to an exciting start to this competition. If the warm-up has anything to do by and physicality comes into it, the Australians will be ahead, given their pure size, a huge team.
England, though, on the charge with Brogdon now, just plays the ball back only onto, well, it's across the baseline in the end. Thought he was going to try and find Charter's foot there, the Australian goalkeeper. Brogdon getting into good position round the back here, though.
As the ball comes in, Brogdon carrying it outside his left foot here. Looked like a stick check to start with, but was unable to get the stick round.
So Bobley one to contend with over there. Bit of space infield, finds Simpson. An interception now from England. It's Middleton that goes himself, and some cool, calm defending from Sorello in the end. Just stood tall, and he's a wide chap. Wasn't going to get past him there.
Yeah, how easy did he make that look? Middleton trying to take the ball to the left side of his body to get Sorello to commit on the forehand. Sorello just didn't move, and in the end was able to pick it on the reverse quite easily.
Ockenden, the Australian captain, plays the ball forward and in towards the D, and took challenge from Michael Hoare, stepping in front of his defender. A bit scrappy back here from England. Australia now get their first circle penetration, and a little nudge in the back there of Michael Hoare.
Yeah, and that's the way England are going to have to defend. They're going to have to be aggressive. Comes up off Hoare here and top of Lewis into the circle. Clash of players 50-50, nothing given.
Well, end-to-end stuff inside the first few minutes of this first quarter, and it's a game that is broken down into 4 15-minute quarters. The first time that we'll see that, and we'll see the impact that that has as the tournament goes on as well. There'll be a 40-second stoppage when a penalty corner awarded as well, or a goal for that matter, for celebrations to take place. As we'll see, we'll keep an eye on things as Brogdon taps that one goal bound towards the P spot. Gleghorn gets the shot off. Not much power behind it, but an awkward one for Charter. Ball bobbles up and Australia win the ball. Came up off Gleghorn's stick.
It just shows the value of getting balls onto the goalkeeper. We see here the spin and hit from Gleghorn. Charter deciding not to play it, let it hit his foot, bouncing dangerously into play.
Good pick from Wetton, turns Weir, slaps the ball. He was looking for the outside of that post, and Russell Ford was up there on the right-hand side of the post. The ball's come up off an England player though. Dion Nell there, one of our umpires for the game, actually jotting down a few stats from this first half, this first quarter. 11:30 still to play in it. Australia 0, England 0, the first game of the tournament. Ball comes down the right-hand flank now, fed in by Budgeon. Australia trying to find a way into the England D, but came up into Ashley Jackson, but off an England stick.
Yeah, Dion Nell Lewis unhappy. Dion Nell suggesting that it had come up off his foot. into Ashley Jackson. He picked it clean.
Brogdon again, change of pace here. Gleghorn on his left-hand side into the final 25. Now 1-2 play back to Brogdon, and it's a corner, first penalty corner of the game onto Sorello's foot. No argument there from the Australian defence. Brogdon making light work of Australia and giving them their first shooting opportunity.
Oh, Gleghorn off his right foot, great pick from Brogdon, and just it came out of control but was alert enough to roll under his feet onto Sorello's, picks up the corner. England's first chance from the top of the D.
So as we said, the clock stops here now. 40 seconds England will have to set themselves for the penalty corner. About 15 of those remaining as Lewis heads over to the injection spot. Fox there at the head of the D to stop, and we've got Gleghorn and Jackson at the head of the D for England. Australia, Mitchell Jackson looks like he's going to be the intended target. Penalty corner number 1 goes England's way. Jackson from the head of the D takes a flick.
Yeah, it's been overruled. The umpire suggesting there was something wrong with it. I thought that had gone past Charter's right foot into the bottom corner. Out to the top, it clearly comes outside the D, does go bottom corner, blown for obstruction, I feel.
Yeah, it does look like that from that angle that we got from behind the goal. The England player just running that fine line which obstructed the Australian defender. Well spotted from the umpire.
And that's a big...
Another interception here from Brogdon. Brogdon takes it onto the reverse. He gets the shot off this time and finds the back of the goal. And England take the lead inside the first 5 minutes. It's Australia 0, England 1. Ali Brogdon putting England ahead.
And in this first 5 minutes, Australia have had the ball stolen off them probably 3 times. Middleton once, one in between that. Now we see that's a simple pick from Brogdon. Just able to steal. Great finish under control with the forehand edge of that stick. Charters was too deep to get anywhere near him. Can't commit. Long reaching stick doesn't get there.
There's the reaction from the awaiting substitutes for England. There's the goal scorer, Ali Brogdon. His first goal of the tournament and the first goal of the tournament itself here in India. The Hero Champions Trophy well underway, and Brogdon scores the first goal for England. So Australia with the restart. There's 10 minutes left to play in this first quarter.
And you have to say that England have started the sharper. They've troubled the Australian defence on a couple of occasions. Some shape issues around the back. And Australia getting it and passing it into channels. England able to make interceptions and come away with the ball.
Well, momentum will definitely play a factor as Devon's ball couldn't find Ockenden. Got an England touch in between though to take it away from them. The quick restart from Australia. Back through Devon. Slap ball comes in, but right onto the open stick of Ashley Jackson. This is Dawson now. There's that crash ball which Pinner lets go. A few of the young Indian fans celebrating there. And those of you new to hockey know, or maybe don't know, that you can't score from outside the shooting circle, the D that's away to George Pinner's left-hand side. There's Brogdon, Gleghorn and Weir. Not too many places to hide from the sunshine here, is there? So the substitutes actually sitting back underneath the stands there rather than in the dugout itself.
Yeah, in the dugout itself there's absolutely no shade. The sun's beating down on it, and even though it's only these 4 15-minute quarters, the level of physical intensity these players are going to have to go through means they need to take every opportunity to cool down, get the body temperature down, the heart rate to drop. You
mentioned the 15-minute quarters there. How do you see that differing? We're used to playing a game of 2:35 minutes as Catlin misses that ball there. Australia still in possession and a chance to come through the midfield now. Just keep an eye on this one. Well back from England. Some determined defence work going on there. It was Condon who was underneath the pile of it. David Condon of EG. Here's another look at it from this angle. Good grit and determination.
Yeah, Condon had the ball, juggling it well. But going back to your question, Mike, I think these 4:15s, we could see less interchange of players because you've got that natural break, so teams might decide to actually keep a couple of their squad back and tactically be aware of later stages of the competition. And I also think that could potentially change some shifts in momentum. It doesn't give the teams the chance to really continue. So if with 5 minutes to go in a quarter, you're right on top of things, you'll actually not want that break.
Ashley Jackson with the long ball. It was an absolute beauty as well. England now drive along the baseline. Ollie Willers bringing the ball down, took it under control, but unable just to get it on an Australian foot or get anything further from the play.
It was a fantastic ball. Willers has got it outside his left foot and just needs to pull it back. And when he sees that forehand, he needs to pull that ball back into his feet, manufacture the foul and win the corner.
wasn't a million miles away from dragging it back towards Sam Ward, one of the newbies in this England setup. Ward, who plays his club hockey at Beeston, wearing number 13 out there for England. Just the one England cap under his belt, so great opportunity out here for England to give those slightly less experienced players a run out. Dixon there, also of Beeston, muscled off the ball but wins the free hit. Plays in Lewis, slaps that ball out wide, and it was a tough one for Whiteman to take.
And it is those little interchange sets of players playing together that's going to be crucial to either team. It's not so much the individual battles, it's the 3-on-3 contests.
Another poach here from England, who get it back. Condon gets the shot off, tight angle, and there was no one on the far post. He was home alone there, didn't really have a chance to manufacture anything with any of his England teammates. But again, England picking up the ball in a dangerous area, robbing Australia of possession.
And that's why he had no support, because again it's turnover play. Australia with the ball taken off them in their back 30 metres, 30 yards. England come again.
England in this first quarter running circles around Australia, the world champions. 1-0 the score. Ali Brogdon the scorer. Long way still to go in this though. Lewis dispossessed by Goders. One of those World Cup winners. Plenty of options here. Onto the reverse stick shot. There it comes in. Good save from Pinner. That left glove getting behind it. Watched it right onto the glove. Solid parry away from Pinner.
And as important as the save, Barry Middleton taking it down off his goalkeeper and just getting the ball clear. 3-0 in the end, giving the free hit to England.
Wide ball just out of the reach of Chris Griffiths. Here's another look at that shot.
Great pick and peel out onto the backhand. Pinner up, standing up brave. Middleton then picking it off the toes of his goalkeeper.
So there is Griffiths, another one of the new introductions to this England squad. Griffiths, who plays his club hockey at East Grinstead, again just a second cap for him. Another interception here though from Reading's Carson. Plays the ball forward and just, well, England felt that final touch. Came off an Australian stick as Griffiths gave chase. But the umpire there, Eduardo Lezano of Spain, saying the last touch came off an England stick.
It's a lovely little pop pass. Oh, this is the goal from the backhand from Brogdon as he goes around goalkeeper Charter. As a goalkeeper, if you're going to commit to the edge of the D, you need to get closer to the attacker than that. Brogdon showing how chuffed he is. Showing
my age here, but looked like one of the members of KISS as he celebrated there. Ali Brogdon, tongue out. Chance for Australia to get one back though, tried to creep it near side. Jacob Wetton with the tomahawk shot. Be a sideline ball, quickly taken by Australia. Good lead run by Goders, who wins the free hit. Has to be taken back on the 5-metre line, the dotted line at the edge of the circle. Deven now with the ball around the back. Crossfield from Budgeon, and now forward from Sorello. Drives forward. Absolute tank of a man. Hat-trick in the final of the Commonwealth Games, when Australia beat India, of course. And here we are in India, here we are again. And it was actually the last time England beat Australia was in India, and it was at the Hero Hockey World League 2014. They're 1-0 up here, trying to get their noses even further in front. Sorello just dumps the ball off to Deven. Peeled out from White now into the midfield, and just getting it stuck under his feet there a little bit, Simon Orchard. England win back possession, which Dixon will take. Leaves it for Jackson.
It feels like at the moment Australia are playing a zone defence in the middle of the pitch and giving away the corners. A moment ago, Jackson's floated past down the field, was able to get to an England forward with virtually no contest.
Well, this may be just day one, game one, but it's going to be a fierce contest out there between the 8 sides taking part in this year's Champions Trophy. India the hosts, Australia the defending champions, Netherlands, Pakistan, Belgium, Argentina, England and Germany all in action over the next 10 days. 6 match days. And we'll look forward to bringing you all the coverage from all of those games. Long aerial ball was looking for Ockenden and Ford, who are both up front there for Australia.
And you got to feel if that had come down, it was in congestion, 2 Australians and 2 English players all leading into a small space.
Russell Ford back in the squad, recovered from injury, and a good addition back in this Kookaburras lineup.
Now again, if we look down in that bottom corner, England forwards uncontested. Griffiths able to lead out behind. In these temperatures, you do find that defensively and tactically, you might make the choice to shrink the size of your defensive area by giving away the sidelines. Australia certainly appear to be doing that at this moment in time. If someone like Griffiths can receive and get his feet round, it gives momentum to drive out the circle.
Just under 2 minutes left to play in this first 15-minute quarter then. The first time we've played 15-minute quarters in the game. Ockenden just stretching those long legs of his, gets the 1-2 pass with Wetton, not much else in support. Now open up the right-hand flank, Australia, with Beale looking for that overlapping run from Deven. It's come up off an England stick. Ball will be taken back on the 5-yard line, or 5-metre line. There it is with Deven. Sorello, no penalty corners from Australia yet in this game. England with just the one chance. There's Wetton again.
Jackson proving that as a midfield defender, you've got to track the play you've gone to. Wetton gave that, looking for the 1-2.
And Jackson again with the final touch, taking it for a long corner. 1 minute left for England to do some defending here. Can they take that 1-0 lead into the end of the first quarter, as Gleghorn now picks up possession. Cool, calm head from him. Australia rob it back though. Here is Deven with a quick self-pass to get things going. Were the England players 5 metres? Yes, says the umpire. So as you'd expect, England back in numbers here. All 11 players inside the 25.
Wouldn't surprise me if this now gets forced in with the clock ticking down.
Linton just chips that one back towards Dixon, but Australia keeping that pressure on. One final attack then. Well kept in from Jacob Wetton. Jackson coming away with it. Keeps in possession. Again, Wetton at full stretch, diving on this turf. Ockenden, this will be the last play of the quarter then. A floated ball into the D. And the England player going to ground. The shot not able to be taken. The final hooter going. And England take the lead going in at the end of the first quarter. It's Australia 0, England 1.
Australia 0, England 1.
So there is George Pinner, just the one comfortable save for him in that first quarter. But Ali Brogdon, the difference between the two sides. England getting their noses in front after 5 minutes. Alistair Brogdon, the goal scorer. Both sides now the chance to take some water on. Boiling hot out there, 28 degrees in Bhubaneswar here in India, the east coast of India. And Australia very much caught on the back foot in that first half.
Yeah, they were indeed. It just looked like the passing decisions they were making out their own 25-30 yard defensive zone were poor. They just weren't looking for easy passes into the midfield.
What sort of messages the coaching staff able to give their players at this stage, Simon?
Well, they probably reinforce what their opponents are doing tactically, so the Australians will be talking about the spaces that England go into.
This is the goal. Ali Brogdon, you see there, one-on-one at the back, robs the ball off Hayward, then did all the hard work, took it onto his slightly weaker reverse stick shot. Didn't show any signs of weakness there as he converted England's chance, and we saw them poaching the ball in that first quarter on 3 or 4 occasions. Whiteman taking his place over here on this near touchline. Pinner heads back towards his goal with Lewis at the back there, but England at the end of the first quarter lead by a goal to nil. There's your goal scorer, Ali Brogdon, on 5 minutes. Can they pick up where they left off? We talk a lot about momentum. That momentum broken. Can Australia bounce back? Dion Nell is set, as is Eduardo Lozano. And the second quarter gets underway, including part of this first half between England and Australia, the first game of the Hero Champions Trophy 2014.
Well, you suggest that Australia just want to get possession further up the pitch. They've only got into the England circle a couple of times, and some fantastic last-ditch tackling from players such as Henry Weir have denied chances.
Here's Hayward. Ockenden now. Ball into the D, took a deflection. No harm done there from Pinner. Boots that one over the fence. England come away with it then. There is Catlin, tries to give chase to that ball from Ward, but Australia have possession back inside the 23-metre zone now, and Pinner again has to come this time, belts it off to the left-hand side of the pitch for a sideline ball.
Well, and if you look at the different types of passes that the two teams have played into the circle, England playing out to the flanks.
Reverse stick shots, and again needed a parry away from Pinner. It'll be a long corner.
So England playing out to the flanks, but Australia playing that kind of ball into the circle to a marked player. Confident that the player can pick under pressure, turn and get a shot away, as they've done twice in this first couple of minutes.
Better play from Australia in the second quarter. And robbed back in the end from Tom Carson of Reading. Now has to get up the other end of the field.
So here we see the ball, just lovely first time bunt in. Pinner up, aware of it. If that ball had been wide of him, could have been problems for England.
Great work as well from Goders there, just to get himself in the right position, just shadowing the ball, almost not backing into the England defender, but creating the space to get off that reverse stick shot. Yeah,
and it's that awareness of what you want to do once you've received the ball. The assumption of these international players is they will trap it. There's not going to be a miss. They're not worrying about that first phase. And just by putting your body in the right place, particularly there, blocking the defender out with the left shoulder, pick and peel off the right foot and hit to goal.
Ball floated into space, which is watched all the way back by Michael Hall, the England defender. Not quite as pacey a start to this second quarter. Dangerous times there as Orr again just floated that ball over the stick of the Australian attacker. Whiteman now cuts in field. Good chasing back though, this time from Beale.
Just a tiny wheel spin from Whiteman as he accelerated, otherwise he was away. Pulled the ball right to left across his feet beautifully. That's a great overhead.
Finds a target as well. Weir comes forward, plays that ball with Catlin. There's the follow-up shot from Henry Weir. Final touch came off an England stick, but nice series of 1-2s. Weir picking up the ball and then dinking inside and then playing this lovely 1-2.
Catlin aware, Henry Weir going first time slap, trying to get it round Charter, hits his right pad in the end.
Best chance of the second quarter for England.
Oh, it was that vision from Lewis in the very first instance in the build-up, the overhead ball.
Australia ball just for a little nudge. Whether that one's inside or outside the 23-metre zone. It's outside, so this can come straight in. England players have to be back 5 metres. Not quite sure Cleghorn was back 5, but umpires seem fine with it. Again, another slip there. We've heard this from the coaching staff at the corners here at the Kalinga Stadium. A little bit slippy for the players, just trying to turn those tight angles. And a penalty corner earned from Australia. The first of the game for them, earned by Goders.
Super bit of skill from Goders. Little dink as the ball is fed in, just pops it. If you play a ball down into the turf, it'll then pop up over a defensive stick.
Here's how it came about. We'll have another little look at it.
Goders takes the ball back, but there's the little pop on the reverse as well, spinning it round. Almost impossible to defend against.
Finding the foot of Tim Whiteman, and again, if you're new to hockey, a foot inside the shooting circle equals a penalty corner, and that's one of these that you're going to see unfold in the next minute. England with 4 defensive players and the goalkeeper behind the goal line. Australia with significantly more numbers at the head of the D. Budgeon's there at the head of the D, as is Sorello. It's come Sorello's way. There's the drag flick, took a deflection from the #1 runner, and it must have come up off the foot of England's #1 runner, because another penalty corner has been awarded.
Brogdon running off #1 bravely. Sorello off the right-hand castle has 2 fantastic options. He's got a straight line flick towards the goalkeeper's left, but one of his favourite tricks is basically to pull the ball around, players say around the houses. We see here it's out to that right-hand castle. The channel to that left-hand side, that's where he's going. He's slingshotted the ball towards Pinner's left foot, and Brogdon gets it on the shin pads.
So Australia line up as they did before. Hayward alongside Sorello this time. It's Hayward this time that takes the flick again. England out fast too. It was Cleghorn this time that got his body in way of ball to goal.
And England quite happily throwing two runners high and hard, so Gleghorn running straight down the line. You look at that, his stick is by his right shin guard.
We've seen both drag flickers, both Sorello and Hayward with shots on goal, both run down by the England defence. England lead here by a 0-0. Australia looking to get themselves back into the game here. Can they convert at the third time of asking? Penalty corner number 3 for Australia. In it comes Sorello's way, this time looking for the deflection, far post. And this time blocked by Middleton, I think, on the line, who was aware to that threat on the right-hand side of the post.
That's an exceptional bit of corner defence, Mike. Middleton reading that perfectly. It was just, Sorello opens his wrists up and slides it, but Middleton reads it all the way and blocks with a flat forehand stick.
Ward steps off the ball, and Sorello, umpire just wants a word here, I think, with a couple of the players.
Yeah, Mikey Hoare in the middle of the circle, just being told to be careful. There's a physical contest in the middle of the D, and England protecting spaces. Whiteman, one of the smallest players out there, going shoulder to shoulder in the middle of the D.
Wiley Whiteman, as he's known. Australia look to thread this one into the D. Has to move 5 metres first. Sorello looks to do that. Plays the outlet ball. And Australia look to change the angle. Coming back all the way round through Glenn Simpson. Don't recognise him without his beard from the Hero Hockey India League last year. This is Sorello now. Line ball is on. Australia pick it up deep in that corner.
Well, Middleton does well to get back onto his feet. The danger as a defender, particularly on a slippy pitch, is you're accelerating and sprinting out to the corners. The ball gets stopped by your opposite number, and in turn you try to stop, and you put your foot down, it just slides away from you.
All Australia in this phase of play. That first time ball into the circle again. Gleghorn back in defence.
Brilliant, strong reverse, but it's the first time balls that Australia are employing well, so it's being played from centre midfield to left and right midfield, and then bunted first time into the D.
Well, no doubt that one was going to find the end of the pitch. Lewis going to air just to relieve a bit of pressure there. Griffiths not actually that high up the pitch, and that just means Australia rebuilds. There's a look at possession in this first half and circle penetrations too. Australia having the better of this second quarter, as we're about 8 minutes or so now till half time. Little deflection touch there away from Barry Middleton. Long corner for Australia.
And Dion they're recognising the Australian call was a little hopeful for a penalty corner. It came up off Middleton's stick and flew over the baseline. Not dangerous to anybody, but just a little word from Australia to the umpire.
Had the ball been deliberately hit behind the baseline by the England player, then it would have been a penalty corner.
Well, that's Gleghorn back there again. The England forward line having to work incredibly hard in defence because the Australians popping half-backs forward. Look at Gleghorn, they're battling for every single ball, and there's a slight touch on his back from Orchard, giving away the free hit.
England now have to manufacture something here from the back. Lewis picks up the ball deep on this right-hand side. Now back over to the left, and you can see the high press from Australia here. They're really starting to put the pressure on England and have to come back in numbers to try and help Ian Lewis out. Gleghorn is there.
Well, and England have got to make some simple choices here to play away from contact. As soon as Australia step out with this high press, you need one lateral transfer and then go down the sidelines, get away from danger, take the ball to where Middleton is now, away from dangerous positions.
Air to air from England. Middleton looking to play the cross-field ball. Intended target there was Dan Fox over on the left-hand side, his Holcombe teammate. But Australia have the ball back. They're playing much better in this second quarter now, Australia, starting to thread those passes together. Lewis can't quite get a full stick on that, and that allowed Wetton to creep in around the back. What are Australia doing differently in this quarter that they weren't doing in the first quarter necessarily?
Well, they're not giving away possession in their back division, quite simply. They're holding the ball further up the pitch. You see here the ball that goes down. Lewis tries to go to ground and deflect the ball away, misses it, scything, fortunately, to an extent that he didn't get the second touch. But Australia taking the ball further up the field more regularly, not turning it over because they're not playing into contact. It was the back players who were going through the England midfield lines, specifically through them and turning the ball over, that was the problem in that first quarter.
Well, no goals to report since Ali Brogdon opened his account here in the tournament. 5 minutes into the game. England lead by that goal to nil. Both sides with their appeal still intact. That's the green dot next to the country symbol up in the top left-hand corner. And you can also see there's just under 5.5 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Then we'll go into half-time for 10 minutes. England looking to take that lead in at half-time as Hoare has possession here. Australia staying high. Hoare finds Jackson. Here's Fox. Missed trap from him on the Australian 23-metre line.
That's a cheap turnover from England. They'd had to battle hard to get out of their right-hand defensive zone. Decision-making was slow at times. Turn the ball over to Australia, and Wetton can come back with it with his eyes up.
Easy pickings for Lewis, who just on the reverse stick thumps it up the other end to relieve a bit of that pressure. England just need to step up here a bit. Only going as high as the halfway line there. There's the first line of defence in the form of Tom Carson. England at a 50% press, so just hanging back on their own halfway line, inviting Australia to come forward. This is Sorello for the Kookaburras.
Well, maybe it's the intensity of that first 15-minute period where England went out really, really hard that starts to punish them now. Not physically, the athletes are perfectly capable of playing at maximum intensity for long periods of time. Mentally, though, it's when you are just tired that the brain starts to focus on survival more than anything else. So you get the ball and you make a slow decision and your opponent takes it off you.
And that's exactly what Australia have done here. They've pinched the ball off England, and off Whiteman, driving right into the circle now and looking to get one back in the end. England salvaged something from it, but they just opened up the floodgates there, and Australia allowed to run into the shooting circle. Unfortunately, White unable to get the shot off. England back down the other end with a shooting opportunity to make it two. Good save from Charter in the Australian goal. Devon there to ensure that the England player couldn't get the ball back up on the rebound.
Oh, collision in the circle between Sam Ward and Andrew Charter. Not sure there was anything malicious in it from anybody. The ball popped in to Sam Ward. He's looked up. I don't think he's hit this as hard as he possibly can. He's just got something on goal. It's popped back, and that's fortunate it's not been given as a corner. Then there's contact between Charter, who's gone down on his forehand. Charter, you could suggest, spins here and tries contact with Sam Ward. He's only fallen over, and there's nothing dangerous. That, however, is an interesting reaction.
Long corner for England. There is Ward waiting in the circle, waiting for that ball to get in. It's Catlin with the quick free hit. Plenty of Australia shirts here around him. Jackson picks up the ball. Acres of room over on the left-hand side for England. That slap ball comes in, looking for a deflection. There it is, hits off post, and Ward converts. England had their second. It's Australia 0, England 2. It bounced back off the post and straight into the path of Ward. His second appearance in an England shirt, and a second goal for England in this first game of the Champions Trophy.
Well, Australia were defending line to goal. You see, what a great open-handed slap across the line of a zonal defence. Whiteman onto the post, Sam Ward in a perfect position, but there is no man-to-man marking. Look, one last defender with two England forwards. How can the goalkeeper possibly cover all those options? And Sam Ward, first time out of Europe playing hockey. Charter gets a touch, but not good enough.
Well, yeah, Charter doing well to even get a stick on that. Crutchley celebrates. Australia trail here by 2-0. So remember, Australia the world champions, also the Commonwealth champions. Looking to add another title for what's been a very successful 2014 for the Kookaburras. Not going their way on day one, though.
Pretty much against the run of play for England. Australia had so much possession, so many shooting chances in that first 3 or 4 minutes. Then all of a sudden, England just see some lines of pass. Willer's beautifully open-handed slap, and it's that deception, the execution of a slap, when you soften your right hand, the stick blade opens and you can slide the ball left to right.
Last time England beat Australia in a major tournament was actually here on Indian soil back in January at the Hero Hockey World League 2014. Parson and Middleton scoring to beat Australia 2-1 on the day. See if they can repeat that sort of performance. Wetton looking to get one back here for Australia. Was he brought down? No, says the umpire. And it's Middleton that comes away with it. This is Carson now on the spin.
Oh, Willers, having just made a fantastic tackle, now gives away possession. But it was last ditch from Willers as the ball got fed into Wetton.
Yeah, he's predatorial, is Jacob Wetton. 73 caps now for him in an Australian shirt.
Well, I think he's just one of the most exciting players in world hockey at the moment. He does stuff that other players just don't even think about.
And cheap turnover from England. Australia forced wide, looking to deflect one past Pinner, who's gone to ground. And a corner here for Australia. Pinner not happy there, but he was down on the ground and clearly covering the ball. They've got their appeal, remember, as well. They've got the team appeal if they want to have a look at that one back. Not too many complaints coming in, though, on second thought.
Well, Pinner did well originally. See, the ball comes in, the tip in front of him. He's now gone flat pad. The ball is still in play at this point. That, however, is a stick tackle, so it's not Pinner, it's Willers that's been penalised for the stick tackle, which is why the corner's been given.
And obviously the umpire, Dion Nell, conveying that to the players. That's why there was no complaint from the England camp. None from four so far, the conversion rate for Australia from their penalty corners. Sorello there again, alongside him is Budgeon and Dawson. This has got to be going Sorello's way. England done well to get their number one runner out. Here is Sorello with the drag flick, keeps it low this time and wide of the mark. Disappointing not to hit the target there from the Australian penalty corner expert.
Yeah, Pinner happily congratulating his defence. Out to that right-hand attacking Castle, pulled round the houses, what we talked about. Sorello with just a little bit too much right hand, pulling the face of the stick through the ball too quickly, accelerating it hard, but a good metre wide.
And England have managed to absorb the pressure in this second quarter. I've got to say, it's been all Australia. Long corner there, given away by Henry Weir. England just catching Australia. And against the run of play, adding a second goal through Sam Ward. Ali Brogdon scoring England's first after just 5 minutes. There's a chance. Ball comes in again, looking for Ford. Jackson there this time, and now Dixon back.
Jackson, one of the coolest men in world hockey. He's picked that in front of his own goalkeeper and floated a ball into space, recognising where his defensive support is.
Final chance for Australia to get one back in the first half. There's the ball into the D. Again, good defence, this time from Lewis. Takes the deflection to take it out for a long corner. There's the hooter that signifies half-time. And what a half for England. They're up here against the world champions. At half-time, it's Australia 0, England 2. Well, it's half a job done from England. Gleghorn and Whiteman there we see visibly pumped going in at half-time. And Australia, well, they've got it all to do in the first game of this Hero Champions Trophy. England with their noses in front at half-time. Goals from Brogdon and Ward. Australia will have to come back, dig deep in the second half and get themselves back into this game. Australia and England in a pool in Pool A with Belgium and Pakistan. All the teams in action today in day one here in Bhubaneswar in India. The Kalinga Stadium in good spirit, and Australia in good spirits at half-time too. It's Australia 0, England 2. It's day one of the Hero Champions Trophy 2014, and Australia trail in game one to England by 2-0. You can see the goals there for Alistair Brogdon on 5 minutes, putting England in front, and Sam Ward adding a second in the second quarter, scoring after 27 minutes. So Water going onto the pitch here. We can have a look back at some of the highlights from that first half for England. This interception from Brogdon off Hayward onto the reverse stick, gets the tomahawk shot off, edges his way past Charter, and England taking the lead after just 5 minutes. And Brogdon getting his name on the score sheet. First goal of the tournament. Well taken too. Here's another look at it from a slightly different angle. Brogdon getting his eyes up, taking the ball away from goal. And the England camp very happy with the way things went in that first quarter. This was an excellent ball in from Ollie Willers. Deflected shot from number 22 there, David Condon. Bounces back off the post off Condon's shot there. Right to the path of Sam Ward. And not even an outstretched Charter could deny England adding a second. Tried his best. And Crutchley and England with their noses in front at half-time here at the Kalinga Stadium. And there too, a look at some of the other stats. So Australia behind by 2-0. 6 shots though from Australia, and they certainly had the best of the play in that second quarter with 11 circle penetrations to England's 5, and Australia too dominating the possession and the penalty corners as well. Well, they'll be very disappointed not to have scored from those, Australia, with Sorello at the head of the D as an option. But the England defence, well, we can give them some credit too, as a young audience watches on here in Kalinga, the Kalinga Stadium in Bhubaneswar, the home of the Hero Champions Trophy 2014. Alongside me here, Michael Absalom, watching the tournament unfold, is Simon Mason, former Great Britain goalkeeper. We've got about 2 minutes to go until the restart, Simon. The fans enjoying themselves, that's always important. Quite hot out there, does that play a factor?
Plays less of a factor these days now that we've got these quarters, because it means the teams can recover, get more fluid on, get the body temperature down and the heart rate down. But this early in a tournament, these guys are used to playing around the world in all sorts of conditions. Their physical conditioning is incredible. So right now, no, I don't think it'll have much of an impact.
And England will be happy with their first half performance. Not too many saves there for George Pinner. We saw 2 there down his end, 2 important, very gloved saves they were. But England come out for the second half, 2-0 up. What do they need to change, if anything?
Well, the one thing I do think they need to change is the communication between the defence and the midfield. We saw there 11 Australian circle entries, and most of those have been balls played from about 30 to 40 metres out and then deflected slightly. And the back guys who are marking, so people such as Mikey Hall, have to make sure that they're not only marking, they're talking to the next line in front of them to protect the passing lanes correctly. If they do that, they'll have more chance of restricting the balls into the D. And
from Australia's perspective, Eddie Ockenden there, the captain today for Australia, what do they need to do to get their noses back in front and get level pegging here with England in this second half?
To be honest, more of the same. They've created enough opportunities. It's just been some last-ditch tackling and good goalkeeping that's denied them. They've created 4 corners. They've got rid of that first quarter frailty of giving the ball away at the back. So I don't think Graham Reid will be asking them to do much more than they've done so far. They just need that final touch to pay dividends.
Well, the Hockeyroos are going well in Mendoza, Argentina, in the Women's Champions Trophy. They've got a semi-final match later today against New Zealand. The England women, however, down in the bottom half of the draw, playing for either 5th to 8th place. We'll find out which of those places it will be after their match against Japan later today. All that action in the Women's Champions Trophy in Mendoza, Argentina. There's the England fans, the Fox family and the Pinner family. Crutchley set to go. England in red, set to go. Ward, one of the goal scorers in that first half. Sam Ward adding a second for England on 27 minutes, and a goalkeeping change there for Australia. Tyler Lovell comes on for Andrew Charter.
And that's something Australians do quite a lot through major tournaments. They rotate their goalkeepers either game by game or half by half, because they do believe in keeping both keepers fully involved in the squad.
Matty Goders will get us underway in the second half, with Australia playing left to right in the gold and green. So Australia to start things for us in the second half. 2-0 they trail. England with their noses in front. Goals from Brogdon and Ward, making it 2-0 as we went in at half-time. We're into the third quarter then. The tournament broken down, and the game's broken down into quarters all of this week, or 15-minute quarters as well. Used to seeing them played at 17.5, but 15 minutes now, and there'll be stoppages every time there's a goal, and there'll be a stoppage every time there's a penalty corner. So that's where that time is hopefully made up. So England very happy with their first half performance. Lewis comes all the way back, a bobbling ball for Orr to deal with, and Australia able to capitalise on this possession here. Ockenden with the ball forward. There's the first time slap, looking for the far post, and sliding in at the far post was Thomas Craig, looking to get one back for Australia. Good passage of play.
Yeah, and it looked like Michael Moore had given that to Middleton, who wasn't looking, and suddenly there's an overlap. Pinner has to cover his left post because Craig is sliding in there with some momentum, manages to miss the post just by tucking his body up.
Almost had a Mighty Ducks moment there. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the ice hockey film, but comes sliding in at the post and dislocates his shoulder in the big game. This game one of the tournament. Ball bounces back.
Dangerous lead into the circle. Sorry, Mike. Dangerous lead. Catlin had lost his player as Ockenden was leading into the D. The pass had been given first time.
Australia then, can they convert this pressure? Need to do something early on in this quarter. Free hit just outside, brought back to the dotted 5-metre line. Must move 5 metres now. Girders with the restart. Slap ball in towards the head of the D. First time ball came up off Jeremy Hayward. Dangerous, says the umpire. So England have possession back.
Well, Australia manufactured that free hit. Godis doing exactly what he'd done early on in the second quarter by picking the ball up and just reverse passing around his feet to pick up free hits.
An interception this time for Godis, who just chips one past Lewis as well. Jackson back there, cover tackle, and keeps his cool. Brogdon as well, back in defence. Ward and Gleghorn up front for Lewis. They're the targets. Can't quite find Gleghorn, who's muscled off the ball. Australia keeping this pressure on in the third quarter. Ball played into the midfield and taken forward and won by Fergus Kavanagh. Slap ball can come straight in towards goal. It was outside the 23-metre zone, so the ball can come directly in towards the shooting circle, and Pinner just watches that one go past his far post. Australia enjoying a healthy amount of possession here.
Yeah, and England need to make sure that whilst Australia have this position, they don't sit too deep.
Kavanagh again. And Lewis watching his feet. Lewis, who will have played here a couple of times last season when he was playing for the UP Wizards in the Hockey India League. Took a little deflection there from his aerial, so England have the ball, but inside their 23 metres.
Yeah, Lewis incredibly agile a moment ago as he's gone to trap that ball. He's almost trapped it in mid-air. He's got his body in the right position, great core strength, to then just jump his feet out the way in case the ball had popped off the end of his stick.
Catlin now drives forward, cuts in field, but can't get past Ockenden. This will be interesting. 3-on-3 for Australia at the back. Ockenden with that turn of pace as well. He may go all the way here. Can't get past Middleton. Middleton going to ground in the corner.
And what a take from Middleton, though. His awareness as he slipped. He'd burst past Ockenden. I thought Ockenden would run past him, but suddenly there's an extra metre of reach.
Griffiths looks to take it onto the reverse stick. Fouled outside the circle. Brogdon keen to take it.
Play just pausing because away to the right of the pictures here, there's a little word from the umpires, Australian forward, just suggesting that the contact needs to be just controlled a little bit more. Godis just being told what to do.
Having it back in the heart of the defence for Australia. Lewis working the ball around. Is Weir now. It's the baseline, but not too many options there. Peels out, good footwork from Henry Weir. And can England get the shot off here? Again, some miscommunication there. Here's an open chance, though, for Barry Middleton. Gets the shot off. And Lovell with the right-footed save to take that one away. Outstretched as Middleton looked to find that left-hand corner as he looked at the goal.
Well, and you have to feel that if England had scored there, Australia may well have complain. There's a head injury just to the left of the shot before the ball gets played in. Players were made aware of it. I'm not sure why Middleton didn't just smash it, tried to flick it, but there was definitely the suggestion that play should have been stopped as it is for a head injury. And the umpires were trying to be made aware of it, but play happens so fast.
Well, Dion Nell taking charge of that far end. Worth mentioning, it's his mum and dad's 50th wedding anniversary today as well, so happy anniversary to Marilyn and Norman back home in South Africa. Dion Nell of South Africa, one of our umpires today, just had a little word with us beforehand, said if we could squeeze that one in. Of course we can. Have a great day and enjoy watching your son umpire here today. It's Australia 0, England 2.
And England changing their press slightly. Carson stepping out as a forward to just split the fullbacks and make sure the play goes down one side. So suggestions that England obviously want to defend a smaller area, but they don't want to fall too far back. If they fall back to 35-40 yards as they were doing just slightly earlier on in this quarter, suddenly Australia can really exert some pressure.
Loads of room over on the right hand side now. If Australia want to break here, they do. Ball forward from Hayward, Wetton with the mistrap.
Well, and that's the difference between the two defensive units at this moment in time. When England are playing the balls down into those corners, because Australia is zoning the middle of the pitch, there's space for the forwards to lead, whereas as soon as Wetton led out to that side, Willers even was right in contest with him.
Willers and Wetton going shoulder to shoulder there as well. Willers with the restart, great ball forward, route one to try and find Carson, who got a nudge in the back, but there was a foot there as well.
Well, I'm fairly sure it was an English foot, but it was suggested that it was too high up off the Australian fullback. Regardless of that, I thought Carson got an almighty shove in the back as he led for the pass, posting up, so leading back from midfield towards the ball.
Yeah, that's what I thought it had been given for originally. Jackson and Middleton teaming up there.
How did Condon not get that onto the body of the Australian defender who'd gone to ground? Contortion from the Australian backline to get out the way. Very, very well done.
I have to look that one up, Mace. So there is a green card for Jacob Wetton. That was for that challenge on Willers moment ago. Over here on this near touchline. Green card, 2 minutes in the sin bin, so Australia down to 10 players for that time. Gives them a bit more space, but obviously England with that one-man advantage now as Dixon picks the ball and peels out. Jackson spreads the ball wide to Fox. Whiteman now over on the far touchline. Thinks about going. Takes the free hit instead. Self-pass to start things up, and round they come again. England round the back. Lewis picks that one up. Now Willers again.
Well, England can afford to play away from contact through the midfield zones now because they have got that extra man. Get a lateral pass as soon as the ball comes in. You don't need to force it into the head of a pack circle. Play the space, make Australia run around, and that physical contest just for 60-90 seconds can take a slight fraction out your opponents.
And if they can convert now, England, that makes good reading for any English hockey fans. 2-0 up as things stand. Great crossfield ball from Lewis to pick out Whiteman, who brings it down under control too, but straight into a wall of steel in the form of Jerry Hayward. Does win the free hit in the meantime. Jackson, not seen too much of Ashley Jackson in game one. Still a long way to go in this tournament, and definitely worth saving something in the tank. England with their noses in front here, looking to add a third, deflected up. Middleton was in the right place at the right time, and even the parry back from Tyler Lovell Middleton's way was high and dangerous, and that's why England have picked up another penalty corner.
Yeah, great overhead pass. England have gone to the air really effectively during the course of this game so far, possibly understanding the space, and Willers there we see picks it from the aerial. The touch in the middle of the circle from Dawson is what lifts it into Middleton. No advantage. Dion Nell just waiting to see if there was an outcome, but the first lift considered dangerous, so Middleton delighted there with a little fist pump.
There is Jackson at the head of the D. A chance for him now to convert and to put England even further in head.
Well, England have only gone to a 6-man routine. Middleton is out on the sidelines.
Well, this is either Jackson or Carson. You expect Jackson to pick it up. Missed trap from Dixon there, though. And up off the Australian defender. Outside the circle, though, so England not able to convert. Jackson thought about using the video referral. Here's Willers to Middleton. Middleton into the circle again. Scrappy stuff, but Middleton somehow gets the ball back for England, onto the foot there as well.
Well, I don't know if that was deliberate or not where Middleton was standing during that corner. He was standing out on the long corner spot. Now you can suggest one or two things. Either that's a complete bluff to try and draw the defensive running lines into a different shape, or England have identified there's a second phase opportunity. So if the ball gets deflected away, Middleton's immediately in the right place for the reaction to turnover.
Good steal again from Willers, and Condon back to support as well as Dixon's ball.
Massive
into the
push,
D, yeah,
huge push.
shoving the back on Chris Griffiths, and England will have another bite of the cherry as they step up and around the circle for another penalty corner, their second of this half.
Now Griffiths would hold his space in the circle and just led away, a bit like Australia have done in the first two quarters, holding space in the circle. We see here, look at this push there, that's the contact. It's not subtle. Dionel, no doubt.
It was Devon that gave away the penalty corner. Can Jackson convert it? He's got Griffiths away to his right hand side. Yeah, Barry Middleton down in that left hand corner. What is he doing there?
Well,
he's getting ready to take the long corner.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a ball there, so you have to suspect that tactically, if the goalie makes a save.
Jackson takes the flick, keeps it low to Lovell's right hand foot. The follow-up shot came in from Condon and eventually cleared by Kavanagh. There is that quick restart from Middleton, and England, clearly something they've practiced in training. We'll look into that more as the week goes on, but give credit to the goalkeeper there. It was a good save from Tyler Lovell off Ashley Jackson's save. Yeah,
Jackson didn't quite get hold of it off the top. He's gone round the houses. Actually, it's a little touch of the number one runner, so that's a better save than we first thought from Lovell. But coaches are always trying to be clever, to find some new invention, tactically or technically, and that idea of putting Middleton up there could be something that pays dividends later for England.
Ford and Wetton linking up, and Wetton winning the free hit. Trots off into the circle to see if he can get a deflection. Australia, first of all, have to get this ball into the circle. They need to get back into this game. Under 5 minutes left to play in quarter three. Australia 0, England 2. There's a ball that was aimed in, came in and took a deflection off an England stick. So Australia recycle the ball. Here they come again. Probably one this time for Lewis to tidy up.
What a great bit of skill from Wetton as he's led back towards the ball, jabbed his stick, looped it over the top of the defender in front of him and gone for the return.
Poor now this time picks it up. This is Whiteman driving it forward. England unable to get it out of their 23 though. Dawson, even. Ball under the shoulder. Solid defending from England though. Kept their lines tight there with Jackson and Lewis down low and denying a path in for Thomas Craig. Not been the most attractive of quarters, this one. England doing all the hard work in the first half. Brogdon opening England's account on 5 minutes before Sam Ward added a second on 27 minutes. Here is Ward now on this near touchline, just steps off the ball, and Willers, who played a part in that second goal with his ball into the circle, collected onto the post by Whiteman, and then Ward converting the chance. Australia still with more shots in the bank to England. Still they trail.
What will be interesting to see the shift of momentum if Australia were to get a goal in the later stage of this third quarter. England, I don't think, playing well enough at this moment in time to suggest that they're definitely going to score again. Australia then got onto the front foot with the chances that they are creating. You could see England just start to struggle because their decision making is slowing just fractionally. When they get the ball, they're not quite sure what to do next.
Again, Wetton leading towards the ball. Got great predatorial skills, Jacob Wetton, still a youngster in the Australian camp and definitely a player to keep an eye on in this tournament. Wearing number 12 for Australia.
And look how deep England are now. They're allowing Australia to bring it up with a flat back 2, back 3, having to play at 30 yards. There's lots of communication to deny the ball into the heart of their circle. As the balls move laterally and they start to tire, just a metre of space is going to allow someone like Sorello to deliver right to the penalty spot.
Contending with just under 30 degrees of heat out there as well, these players, so the England defence at the moment having to work hard. Australia still trying to find a way through. That ball comes in looking for a little slap, deflected up, there's the rebound, and Pinner did well to react there. I think it was Ford who got the shot off. Bounced it into the turf though, which made it awkward for Pinner. Pinner getting his full body behind it. Australia almost back in this.
Well, that's when it's ugly as a goalkeeper, but it's so effective. Pinner using every single inch of his size to almost jump on top of that ball.
There's the shot, reverse stick again, and goes wide this time from Thomas Craig. Felt there was an England touch on that. Gives us a chance to pause and have a look at some of those chances.
And as this comes in, it's picked up. This is a great touch and turn. Pinner just getting everything over the top of it, aware of where that ball is. Now, something may suggest that the first left-hand touch is deliberately playing it off, but I think he tried to play that left hand to then hit it right hand. So he's jumped on top of that. It's actually his backside as he drops on the ball, second phase. Fox with the anti-skill that gets to Henry Weir, completely miss-hitting that.
So inside the final minute of the third quarter here between Australia and England, the world champions trailing to England, who finished 4th in this year's World Cup. Lead by 2-0. They'll go into the final quarter, a 15-minute quarter ahead. Can they get a third just before the end of quarter 3? Doesn't look like it. Australia will have the final play. Middleton, who's had a strong third quarter. Willers misses that one, and now a chance for Australia to get one back. 10 seconds left on the clock. What an important tackle that was from Dan Fox at the back. Fox playing his 118th cap today. That an important tackle on the hooter. So England will come out for the 4th and final quarter. 2 goals up, goals from Brogdon and Ward, both coming inside the first half. At the end of quarter 3 though, it's Australia 0, England 2. So Pinner doesn't take part in the quarterly conversations that the rest of the England squad do. So at the end of the first quarter and at the end of the third quarter, just composing himself in his goal. Clean sheet so far for Pinner. Hopefully that'll stay the same in the 4th and final quarter. Day 1, match 1. England with their noses in front. Australia with it all to do in the final quarter, and this one far from over. Crutchley will just gather his troops. England, who went ahead through Alistair Brogdon on 5 minutes. Sam Ward adding a second on 27 minutes. Final quarter action on the way. Chance there to look inside the England camp, and presumably Coach Crutchley just discussing the press a little bit there with those crosses marked on the board.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that particular picture we've now got mentally, he was suggesting that the forwards need to stay slightly more compact, give away the sidelines, maybe meaning that they want to play a slightly narrower game to deny England the head of the circle.
Well, they do enjoy dancing out here, that's for sure, and expect the atmosphere to ramp up here in the final game of the day. Germany versus India, the first game for the hosts on day 1 of the Hero Champions Trophy 2014. Australia versus England, this is the first game. Belgium versus Pakistan next. The Netherlands will take on Argentina, 5:30 local time, then 7:30 local time, Germany versus India. So the 4th and final quarter underway. Dan Fox brings down that aerial ball, plays it into Gleghorn, and England lead by 2-0. The world champions trailing here to England, and a chance now to make it 3. A missed trap there though from David Condon, who was in good position. Lovely floated ball forward, and that a missed opportunity.
That's a great passage of play. Gleghorn picking it on the left-hand side, realising needs to go lateral. Super floated pass through to Condon, who actually, if he got that, had Brogdon across the face of goal for an easy tap-in. Breakdown of basic skill.
Australia, who beat England 4-1 in the Commonwealth Games earlier this year in Glasgow. They also beat England 5-0 in Den Haag at the Hockey World Cup. England here in India leading Australia by 2-0. Much improved performance from them. Just a pool game, so it's not at the knockout stages just yet if you're tuning in. It's just day one. Nothing to get too excited about. Knockout stages coming later in the week. We've got to get the first weekend of play underway here though in Bhubaneswar, and Australia need to start their tournament really with a goal. Kavanagh.
England have got to make sure they get a man out of the ball at every possible opportunity. If they give Australia the time to be static on the ball when they're distributing, it's so easy to find good playing angles. Brogdon's quick enough to get that.
Got a great turn of pace, Ali Brogdon. He's also got a goal after 5 minutes here against the world champions. England have certainly asked questions here of the 5-time winners of the Champions Trophy. Again, scrappy defence from England. Lewis this time was at full stretch to deny Goders, but Australia have that free hit outside the circle. Lovely bit of skill from Ockenden, the captain. Now onto his reverse stick. Did he tuck it onto a foot?
He did, but it was outside. Eduardo deciding, the umpire deciding it was outside the circle in the first place.
Ockenden will try his luck again. Can't get past Dixon. Swipes it away, and it'll be a sideline ball. Restart taken by Australia. All the way around this time. Kavanagh again.
Australia with 4 forwards in the circle, so showing what they're trying to do, just to get the ball into distribution positions and then smash it into dangerous areas.
Little skid there from Wetton. Oh, lovely take from Lewis. That was about halfway up the body. He was heading probably for his kneecap. Captain now back to Lewis. Pressure being forced on here by Beale of Australia. Spun out from Hoare. Had to keep his cool.
Let's go for high-risk strategy to get out of your own back line. That takes immense confidence. England doing fantastically well, but could have been turned over so easily.
Condon to Brogdon. That was the intention anyway. 12 minutes left to play. Let's have another look at that skill. Little spin here from Hoare.
So Hoare looks forehand, goes reverse, eyes up, and then pops it into the corner. Just takes immense amounts of confidence and courage.
Well, there's Ford, who's back in this Australia squad, coming back from injury, and Lewis with the restart now for England in red as they play from right to left. 2-0 up at the moment.
Now, the issue as Lewis carries the ball there down that right-hand side is that Australia leaving an attacker high and cutting off the backwards pass. So as he stops and turns and doesn't want to carry the ball too far forward, he has nothing behind him, so he has to keep going into contact. Then as the ball gets turned over, if he's not successful, Australia have the overload.
Middleton almost pinching that one back. Get a bit of stick contact in there, and that's Orchard coming back. He's got his head taped up. There's a blood injury earlier in the game that we must have missed, but he's changed his shirt as well. He's got his number 3 number taped on the back of it as well, but there is Orchard back in the game, so no harm done. Just a little knock in that first half.
Yeah, that's also why he's got the number taped on the back of his shirt. It's not that they've turned up with the wrong numbers. That blood shirt is held without a number so that any player can then change their top and get back onto the field, and you have to put your number on the back of it just with a piece of tape for a short bit of time.
Sorello can't nip him field through Carson, and gave Jackson the chance to come away with it. Some space over in the final 23 though for Ogilvie. Not seen too much of him, but that is his first clear-cut chance on the England baseline, and now Ford has a crack as well. England defensive lines holding strong. Not too many outlet balls here for Whiteman to try and find and source.
I know that England historically have liked the idea of ball carrying fullbacks running with the ball, coming out of trouble, but at this stage of a game with this result, you feel that they really should be playing to safe channels. I suggest go out to half-back, look longer for the forwards leading into the corners. That's where they got dividends and outcomes early on in this game. If they run into contact with Australia, they're going to get punished.
1-2 from Jackson, who brought it out of the heart of defence, now inside the attacking 23. Throws a ball reverse stick under his shoulder. Picked up and fed in to Carson.
Great skill, lovely little right to left and pop past Willers.
Ford doing some leg work to get onto the far post. This is a storming run from Australia down that left-hand flank. The deflection came in, and well, it must have been a shot wide because the umpire is signalling for a 16-yard hit.
Yeah, it's Wetton who's gone in front of the ball across Pinner. Pinner's had it smashed into him from Thomas Craig. Great bursting run down the left-hand side. Pinner's gone to ground. We'll see it here. It's the ball across on the backhand. He's gone open-handed to make sure he keeps it down. Wetton in front of Pinner has deflected it past the near post.
Excellent run, as he said, from Thomas Craig there, the Australian number 2. Just 3 caps. This is 4th in an Australia shirt. The Kookaburras, they still trail by 2-0. That a good chance for them to get back into the game. This Orchard in the midfield. Again, Australia peel out, and Hayward has to find a little bit of extra juice to run onto that one. There's a deflected ball that comes in from Ford. Dixon this time for England tidies it up. It's Hall that goes to air.
Well, you feel that Ford was leading to that. Lewis was slightly behind him and had to go flat out to ground. Ford couldn't get the ball to deflect onto Lewis' body, and in the end he had help.
Another circle penetration for Australia there. Ball found Tristan White.
Middleton doing brilliantly to tackle from the wrong side. We'll see here. Look at Middleton going round the ball, shave tackling. You could suggest on replay back of the stick.
Looked like it.
However, in real time, almost impossible to spot. You're talking about a rotation of the stick in a left hand that exposes, what, an inch of carbon fibre on the back. The umpire's going to really struggle to pick. That's the dangerous run that England need to prevent if they can. Lewis carrying the ball too far forward through contest.
Bogdan back there to cover his teammate. Advantage played from the umpire. Australia with a chance inside the circle again. Ford plays the 1-2 with Orchard looking to make the space, finds the foot. Penalty corner for Australia, and well deserved, it has to be said.
Brilliant awareness from Orchard. Battled England getting caught by appealing for free hits. Australia giving the corner.
It all came from that Lewis play though, didn't it? Carrying it out, getting dispossessed, and then Australia keeping their head, keeping the momentum and earning a penalty corner. The clock stops for 40 seconds now, remember. New rule being played at this tournament. Gives England the time to settle, get their face masks on, and there's a look at the stats, penalty corner wise. None from 4 for Australia.
Cirillo and Hayward at the top on those castles.
Have to score this really, Australia. 7 minutes left to play in the final quarter. It's Cirillo that steps up, takes the flick, keeps it low and beats Pinner. There's one back for the world champions. Cirillo the goal scorer. Australia 1, England 2.
I see the Australian castle moves by about a metre, exposing the right hand. Now actually Pinner should get that. Cirillo's tucked him up underneath his right hand. Suggestion internationally now to not go right in the corners because it's easier for the goalkeepers to extend. But all of a sudden, England now faced with that task of just resetting. 7 minutes to go.
Well, the big man comes off. Job done for him. Well, not quite. Still just under 7 minutes left to play, but Cirillo getting one back for Australia on 54 minutes. Well, this should certainly kick-start the game. England have been enjoying a 2-0 lead up until now, but this will really test them as a squad and as a team. Deven, interception there at the back, and comes away with it.
Well, England just need to set up their structure at the back and make sure they know where they're going to pass. As we talked about, that whole passage of play that led to that Australian corner and goal was because England carried the ball into contest. That sort of position from Dan Fox is exactly where Lewis carried it one more phase. If they can just make the decision, pause, don't get caught up with the momentum and make simple passes, they stand a much greater chance of success.
Aerial ball from box forward to Ward, and well, the defender was underneath it, and it's always going to be blowing in the defender's favour there. Australia, soft possession given away from Simon Orchard. How important is it to make a winning start to a tournament like this? 3 very valuable points up for grabs. England in a pool with Australia, Belgium, England and Pakistan, as we look at Sorello's goal that beat George Pinner. But how important that one of these teams takes away 3 points from this first game?
I think the points are less relevant than the performance, to be honest, this early on. Yes, there's all sorts of talk about momentum and great reverse.
Australia certainly have that momentum now. Ford tucks the ball back under his shoulder, no one running onto it from the P-spot in a gold shirt. That's onto the foot of Lewis, and Australia will have the free hit. Can they convert this passage of pressure? One back already through Chris Sorello on 54 minutes, making it Australia 1, England 2. And we are heading into the final 5 minutes of this first game of the Hero Champions Trophy.
Australia trying to do that first-time pass in from Ockenden.
Orchard been influential in this final quarter, that's for sure, carrying the ball and only as far as Pinner that time, who was down to it. And Australia here are going to use the video referral. No, they're not, they don't need to, because the 2 umpires communicating on radio that this was indeed a corner. Let's have a look at it from our angle.
A horrible stick tackle as the ball comes through. Really not a great defensive position, and there's immediately the body position from Griffiths, knows what he's done.
Well, there is Sorello on the bench. He won't be taking this from the head of the D, that's for sure. But Australia have plenty of firepower there at the head of the D. Jeremy Hayward, 32, with his back to us. He's a likely candidate to step forward and try and beat Pinner here. Pinner will have to be at his very best. Just conceded a couple of minutes ago to Chris Sorello, and this to equalise. Alongside Hayward there is Matthew Dawson in the number 6 shirt. Hayward lines up, comes his way, takes the flick and run down. The reverse stick shot though into the keeper's pads, and Australia here to equalise off the line from Middleton. How did England keep that out?
That's unbelievable. How's that been stopped on the line? I think that's Middleton. Middleton off the line. The ball is away. There'll be no video referral. England have a chance.
Yeah, England down the other end. This to make it 3 under the body, and Ward goes straight back up the other end and scores in the meantime. Australia protest. They wanted the video referral. Play was waved on. England went back down the other end, and England adding a third through Sam Ward. Well, all sorts of controversy out there.
Yeah, obviously Australia were wondering what had gone on. Somehow England managed to stop it going in the goal. There was no obvious signal for video referral. The ball was down and away.
Well, the umpires will get together here. Was the right amount of time allocated for the Australians to make their video referral? Either way, Sam Ward converted up the other end. And what the Australian player there, Simon Orchard, is saying is that they appealed straight away for the video referral. And to be fair, they did.
Well, you have to say, Dion Nell let the play go on.
When they came straight away, straight after the no goal.
I'm not sure if you're hearing this back home, the umpires.
Yeah, but they want the referral? No. So he asked me the referral. Yeah. Then we must take it? Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to take it. Yeah? Yeah, we got to take a referral. If they wanted it, we've got to give it to them. Yeah, no, he's... Barry, listen to me. Listen.
So what we can hear, we don't know if it can be heard at home, is that the conversation between the 2 umpires, did Australia ask for a video referral? This is the goal. I mean, Sam Ward's bit of skill to go around the goalkeeper is fantastic. Let's not take anything away from him. So this is the passage play after what they're talking about. So Dion Nell is umpiring. We see him in shot there. Great ball under the arm to Sam Ward. That is a superb, instinctive bit of play. But what we're looking for in the video referral, I believe the question is, they're looking to see when did Australia ask for the video referral. If they asked for it obviously, then it might have to go back and the goal might be disallowed, as far as I understand.
I mean, my view of it was that Australia went straight to the Spanish umpire, sorry, Eduardo Lozano, and asked. This was some great defending from England, no doubt about that.
Here's the post, comes back out again. Pinner manages to get a touch. That's saved on the line and pops up here. Play is now carrying on, but you've got players at any point. No, you see, I'm not sure at any point, other than number 16 in the middle of the shot, Matt Godis asks for it, but then runs away immediately. I'm not sure that umpire Eduardo saw that request.
Well, here's a look at it from behind George Pinner's goal.
So there's nothing wrong with it. It's here when Middleton plays it up. Is that dangerous to anybody? You'd suggest that that is. However, play now goes on. Godis has run away. All of a sudden, we've got Orchard with the umpire. But has Orchard made the signal at any point?
It does look like he is making the signal there behind the Spanish umpire. That's probably our best angle of it that we can give you up in the commentary box.
I mean, the most obvious request was from Godis, but he made it once with a tap of the fingers to the palm as a T and then ran away straight away. Does Orchard make a really obvious gesture towards the umpire at any point that we can see? Because you can't just ask for it in words, you have to make the signal.
Let's have another look at the penalty corner. The injection from Ford, charge down from England. There was the follow-up shot onto the post. Unfortunate not to convert that one. Hayward had the better of the keeper, and then Middleton here somehow keeps it out for England. Now, don't worry about the two dangerous swipes because the ball came up dangerously off Middleton. But what we're trying to find out is, did Simon Orchard run straight away to the Spanish umpire?
Godis. There's Godis behind the umpire, but the umpire doesn't see that. We needed to keep that angle playing, unfortunately. So Godis in the middle of the shot. Any moment now as it gets swung, there's a T signal there on the left of the picture. Umpire isn't looking at him, doesn't see it. Godis now just runs.
We've got a decision coming. And there's no reason to change your decision, I think is what we're hearing.
Restart. That one. We play on the goal stand.
It sounds like the goal is going to stand.
Goal stand.
Again, we can't
Goal stand.
quite know if you're hearing this back at home. There was a few problems with the umpire radios this morning. Day one of play here at the Hero Champions Trophy. But the goal is going to stand, it looks like. No advice possible from the video umpire. So therefore, the goal will stand. England's counter-attack goal, scored by Sam Ward, will count. It's Australia 1, England 3.
I can understand why Australia are aggrieved, but if you try and look at the sight lines, we can't hear what Orchard says, but he doesn't seem to signal. Take away nothing from Sam Ward. That's a great pick and peel, and you could suggest that the Australian defence just caught on the hop. Nell, there's no problem with that at all. Ward, that's his second game in only his second England cap. Second goal, sorry.
I was going to say, 2 games, 2 goals. It's a good start to Ward's England career. And Australia, well, they've got it all to do with 4 minutes left to go. Ward's goal on 56 minutes coming off the back of that very controversial decision up the other end. I'm sure they'll analyse that long and deep into the night. But England cruising towards their first 3 points of this Champions Trophy. Far from done yet though, 4 minutes left to play. Australia come out from defence with Orchard. This is Wetton. Cuts inside, just dumps the ball off to White. And again, back in numbers, Asia Red. Can Orchard find a way through? Devon now. Look for the route one ball, and that has gone straight onto Gleghorn's shin pads. Have to just jog that one off.
Side of ankle as Gleghorn just turned his body, reached in to try and deny the ball to the head of the circle.
Ball comes in from Budgeon this time, only as far as Lewis, who relieves some of the pressure and bobbles that one up. Bobbles going to keep that one in. Crossfield from Devon. Route one ball is on, comes towards the head of the D, and Godis was the target on the 23-metre line. England have possession back inside the final 3 minutes now, and it's 3-1 that England lead Australia. Remember, England having not beaten Australia since the Hero Hockey World League here in India in January 2014.
That's a bold pass out from Michael Hoare in the face of a three-man Australian press. Pops it out to Dixon at centre midfield. Fortunately, because of the height of the Australian press, Dixon with no contest.
England with the ball on the baseline now. This is Carson. Carson dispossessed. And looks like it's going to be too little too late for Australia. Australia who got one back through Chris Sorello on 54 minutes before Ward put England further ahead on 56.
In a game like this, almost forgetting about what the goals are at this moment in time, both teams now have a real chance to practice specific tactics. So England, can they close out a game? Can they play the ball to the least dangerous channels and positions?
So Australia, what can they get out of this final stage of the game? Here is Sorello, the goal scorer, tackled from behind. Well, Australia, not the ideal start. Australia in this pool with Belgium, England, Pakistan. We'll go back to the drawing board. All must-win games then for Australia, who play Pakistan next tomorrow at 2 o'clock local time, before going on and playing Belgium on Tuesday after Monday's rest day at a 2 p.m. local start as well. There's Ward. Interesting look. Very Lawrence of Arabia. But 2 goals on the day for Sam Ward, adding that final blow on 56 minutes after opening his account on 27 minutes. Strong start from England, who went ahead through Ali Brogdon on 5 minutes. Yes, as we said earlier, Chris Sorello's goal, the only Australian goal today. Looks like it's going to be 3-1. The final score here as Devon picks that one up inside his 23. This is White. Australia will just maintain possession here as the clock ticks down. Good encounter between these two sides. And who knows, we could see them go head-to-head later on in the tournament as well. Remember, this is just a pool game.
And that probably summing up the difference in these last 2 quarters. The ball passes to Australia have been to reverse stick for difficult pickups, whereas earlier it was all to forehand.
That'll be the final touch of the game, and there goes the hooter. And England rise to their feet. High fives all round. Sam Ward scoring 2 goals today. England scoring 3. Final score here, Australia 1, England 3. Jacob Wetton congratulating England on their performance. They started strong. Brogdon getting the opening goal. Ward adding the next 2. But a good team effort to give England their first win of the tournament. Cracking start. England's next game will be against Pakistan on Sunday. Then they'll play Belgium on Tuesday. For Australia, well, it's Belgium next, their game at midday tomorrow, and then Pakistan at 5:30 local time on Tuesday. Full-time score here, Australia 1, England 3. So your assessment of that game, some controversy towards the end there, Simon, giving England their 3rd goal, but outside of that, a good opener here in Bhubaneswar.
Yeah, indeed, it's all about taking your chances. England took theirs superbly well. Steal right at the beginning, 5th minute, and all of a sudden we've got a backhand chance for Brogdon. Sees the gap, exploits it, drives around the goalkeeper. It's just that Australia were forcing the pass early on in the game, and in doing so turning over possession to England. That changed in the latter stages, but obviously the men in red were delighted with the start. And then a great cross-field ball from Ashley Jackson, finds Ollie Willers, sliding forehand off the post, and Ward, only his 2nd game in an England shirt, but in exactly the right place. Gave it everything, chartered very, very nearly, making a great forehand save, and Crutchley obviously pleased with where his team is. Sorello then doing what he does best, simple corner. Paul Pinner will be disappointed because that was one of the more simple things that he needed to do, but it is what Sorello does best. Picks and drives underneath Pinner. all pretty straightforward for the Australian corner attack. Should have been better for the English defence, who'd run down the lines of things so very well.
Well, this was the controversial moment at the very end. Hayward hitting the post and Middleton clearing his line spectacularly there. Will go long into the night probably to decide whether that was a video referral, wasn't a video referral, but England shot straight down the other end and Ward got his second goal.
He did indeed, and that is an absolute poacher's awareness of where the goalkeeper is. Pick, move one way, get the goalkeeper off balance, slide it under his body, the simplest of finish.
But that was Ward's second and England's third. England have 3 points on the board and lead the pool. Pool A, made up of Australia, Belgium, England and Pakistan. England winning the first game of the tournament. So plenty of games to look forward to here today on day one. Belgium versus Pakistan is the next game. Netherlands versus Argentina after that. Then the host India take on Germany at the very end of the day. We can head down pitch side with Dubai and Sen.
Welcome to the post-match presentation for the Hero Champions Trophy 2014 match between Australia and England. Well, we are calling this the best of the best, and what an ideal start to this competition. Joining me for this presentation is Mr. Martin Gallivan, who is FIH Competitions Manager, and he'll be presenting the Hero Man of the Match trophy and the cash prize of rupees 25,000 to Sam Ward of England. Sam, terrific performance from you, and just your first match couldn't get any better than this.
No, I can't complain with the first cap like that, but obviously a lot of it's down to the hard work of the team around you, and yeah, I can say I've not played in many games like that before.
Well, 2014 has been a very good year for English hockey as such, but you've made it to the business end of competitions. The aim here must be to go all the way.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, every time you enter a tournament, you want to go as far as you can, and yeah, our aim is to do as well as we can.
Playing against Australia in any sport, winning is all the more sweeter, so that must have made it better.
Yeah, definitely. Many Aussie friends, but no, fantastic, and really enjoyed my first day.
Well, still a while to go, but all the best, and congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.
Sam Ward picking up the Man of the Match award there for England in their 3-1 victory over Australia in this first game of the Hero Champions Trophy. There's some stats for you back home if you're into those. 11 shots for Australia in that game to England's 6, and they had 23 circle penetrations there and certainly had the better of the second half as far as possession goes, with 72% to England's 28. Just 1 from 5 the conversion rate for Australia, with Chris Sorello scoring on 54 minutes. England unable to convert from their 4 penalty corner chances. Simon, your assessment of that first game for both sides?
Well, for people watching, obviously it was a lesson in defence from an English perspective. They just held back and took the few chances that they had. Australia will be frustrated by the outcome, but I'm not sure they'll be that frustrated by the process of the game.
There, a look ahead to the rest of the schedule today on day one, with Belgium versus Pakistan next up at 2 p.m. local time. The Netherlands will take on Argentina at 5:30, and then the big one between India, the hosts, and Germany. That's 7:30 local time. Already a sellout crowd here planned for that one in the Kalinga Stadium. These youngsters have enjoyed a great opening game between Australia and England. It's a game which England have won by 3-1 and start their campaign here with a very juicy, healthy 3 points on the board. Well, for Australia, their next game is against Belgium. That's tomorrow at midday, and England's next game will be against Pakistan at 2 o'clock tomorrow local time. That's Sunday the 7th of December versus Pakistan, and we've got coverage of each and every single game here of the Hero Champions Trophy 2014. Loads more hockey to enjoy this week. Do make sure you come back and join us. From myself, Michael Absalom, and Simon Mason here in the commentary box. We'll see you soon.
just